Here's the painful truth. Not everyone deserves an explanation from you. Not everyone is worthy of your patience, your kindness, or your loyalty. And if you keep living your life trying to please everyone, there will come a moment, maybe sooner than you think, when you'll be the one discarded, replaced, forgotten. In this video, I'm going to share 9 brutal lessons from Keanu Reeves, each one a wake-up slap to every lie you've been told about how to earn respect. These aren't feel-good tips. They're raw, they're real, and they'll shatter the false beliefs that have been holding you back. Let's dive into part 1, the first 4 truths that will shake your perspective and force you to rethink the way you've been living. These are the first cracks in the wall, and once you see them, there's no unseeing. Ready? The first lesson: stop wasting time explaining yourself to those who don't deserve it. It's time to stop. I'm talking about those people who constantly question your every decision, who act as if they are entitled to an explanation for every step you take. Listen to me, you owe them nothing. Not an explanation for who you are, not for what you do, and certainly not for the path you're walking. Yet, so many people fall into this trap. They spend their lives trying to defend themselves to those who have already made up their minds about them. They exhaust themselves attempting to convince people who were never interested in understanding them in the first place. It's like trying to fill a bottomless cup. No matter how much you pour in, it will never be enough. And here's the harsh truth. If someone doesn't respect you before you explain yourself, they won't respect you after. Think about all the time you've wasted justifying yourself to people who don't even care. You give them your reasons, and they twist your words. You defend yourself against accusations, and they pretend not to hear. You explain why you walked away from a toxic situation, but instead of supporting you, they question you even more. It's a cycle, a draining, endless loop that robs you of your peace and leaves you feeling empty. Why do we do this? Why do we feel the need to explain ourselves to those who will never truly listen? The answer is simple: we want to be understood. It's human nature. We don't want to be misjudged. We don't want people to have the wrong idea about us. We want to be seen for who we really are. But here's a hard truth you must accept. Not everyone deserves that. Not everyone deserves to know your reasons, your feelings, or your journey. Some people are determined to misunderstand you. No matter how clearly you explain, they will twist your words. No matter how much evidence you provide, they will doubt you. No matter how open your heart is, they will choose to believe the worst. So it's time to stop. Stop justifying your decisions. Stop trying to please people who were never truly in your corner. Stop trying to prove your worth to those who never saw it in the first place. Your value does not need validation. You don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. And from this moment on, you will no longer waste a single second on people who don't deserve it. So why waste your breath? Why waste your energy? If someone truly values you, they won't need an explanation to respect your choices. They will understand that you have your reasons. And those who constantly demand explanations, who scrutinize your every move, they aren't seeking understanding, they're seeking control. Have you ever noticed that the people who question you the most rarely explain themselves? They expect you to justify your actions, but never feel the need to do the same. That's not respect. That's a game. And the only way to win is to stop playing. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your power. You no longer seek approval from those who don't matter. You stop feeling the need to defend your choices to people who have no real influence over your life. You free yourself from the exhausting need to be understood by those who don't deserve to understand you. Think of the greatest minds in history, leaders, visionaries, legends. Do you think they stopped to explain themselves to every skeptic? No, because if they had, they would have been stuck, wasting their breath on people who were never going to see the bigger picture. They didn't beg for approval. They didn't justify every step. They just moved forward, whether people agreed or not. And that's exactly what you need to do. You don't need to explain why you're working on improving yourself. If someone can't see your growth, that's their problem. You don't need to explain why you walked away from toxic people. If they don't understand, that's their loss. You don't need to explain why you choose peace over chaos. If they don't respect it, let them stay in their own turmoil while you move forward. Some will call you cold. Some will say you've changed. Some will make you the villain in their story. Let them. You are not responsible for fixing their perception of you. The only thing you are responsible for is staying true to yourself. Understand this. The more you explain, the less respect you earn. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. People respect those who stand firm in their decisions. They admire those who don't feel the need to justify every move. When you stand tall without explanation, you send a clear message. I don't need your approval. I know who I am. And that energy, that's what earns respect. Now I know what you're thinking. But what if they misunderstand me? What if they think I'm rude? What if they assume the worst? Let them. The truth reveals itself in time. The people who truly know you will see your heart. The ones who value you will recognize your worth. And those who refuse to see it, they were never meant to be in your life in the first place. So from this moment forward, stop explaining yourself. You owe no one an explanation for your growth. You don't need to justify the peace you choose. You have no obligation to defend your decision to put yourself first. Move forward in silence, let your actions speak, and watch as the world shifts in your favor. Lesson 2. Set boundaries like your life depends on it. It's no coincidence that so many people feel exhausted, disrespected, and taken advantage of. The reason is simple. They lack boundaries, or worse, they have them but fail to enforce them. The truth is, boundaries aren't a luxury. They are a necessity. They are the defining line between a life of strength and a life dictated and manipulated by others. When you fail to set boundaries, you give others permission to walk all over you. You're silently telling them, you can treat me however you want, and I'll still be here. And they will take advantage of that. They will test how far they can go, pushing the limits as much as you allow. If you don't set a stopping point, they will keep taking endlessly until there's nothing left of you. You need to understand one crucial truth. Most people are not thinking about what's best for you. They are thinking about what's best for themselves. If you allow them to overstep your boundaries, they will. If you let them disrespect you, they won't hesitate. If you accept being their emotional dumping ground, their energy drain, their endless source of validation, they won't stop. Not because they are inherently bad people, but because you have never made it clear where you draw the line. And the hardest part, you often don't realize how bad the situation is until you are completely drained. You start feeling exhausted, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. You carry resentment, but you bite your tongue because you've been conditioned to put others before yourself. You keep giving, hoping that one day they will recognize your worth and treat you better. But they won't. Not until you demand it. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about controlling yourself. They are a firm declaration. I refuse to be disrespected. I refuse to be treated like I don't matter. I refuse to keep pouring into others while leaving myself empty. It is self-respect put into action. You don't need to announce your boundaries to everyone. You don't need to beg for respect. You simply need to decide what is acceptable and what isn't. And stand firm. When someone crosses the line, you address it immediately. If they continue, you remove them from your life. That's it. No lengthy explanations, no debates, no pleading for them to see your worth. The people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will call you selfish, cruel, and heartless when you start enforcing them. Let them. The ones who get angry at your boundaries are the very ones who were exploiting you. They liked the version of you that tolerated their disrespect. They liked you when you always said yes, even when your soul screamed no. They liked you when you prioritized their needs over your own, even at the cost of your well-being. But you are no longer that person. You must accept that sometimes you will disappoint people. You must learn to be okay with not being liked by everyone. You must stop worrying about what others think and start prioritizing yourself. Because if you don't set boundaries, the wrong people will control your life, while the right people will walk away. Because they cannot stand to watch you allow yourself to be mistreated. When you establish boundaries, something remarkable happens. The users, the manipulators, the ones who only show up when they need something, they will fade away. And the people who truly value you will step forward. They will respect your space. They will treat you the way you should have demanded to be treated all along. It is not your job to keep everyone happy at the expense of your inner peace. It is not your job to always be available, always be accommodating, always be the one to fix everything. It is not your job to be an emotional dumping ground for those unwilling to face their own issues. You have the right to say no. You have the right to walk away. You have the right to choose yourself. The strongest people are not the ones who never get hurt. They are the ones who refuse to let pain become their way of life. They recognize when they are being used, and they stop it immediately. They do not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or one-sided relationships. They set boundaries, and they enforce them relentlessly. There will be those who test you. They will push your limits, seeing if you are truly serious about your boundaries. This is where many people fail. They set the boundary, but when someone crosses it, they hesitate. They let it slide, and in that moment they send a message. I have boundaries, but I don't really intend to keep them. And once people realize that, they will keep pushing, because they know they can. Setting boundaries is not a one-time act. It is an ongoing process. It is a daily choice to put yourself first. It is a reminder that you deserve respect, peace, and space. And if someone cannot accept that, they can leave. The most powerful word you will ever learn is no. No, I will not let you manipulate me with your emotions. No, I will not continue investing in a relationship that drains me. No, I will not maintain connections that only exist when you need something from me. No, I will not stay in a situation that makes me feel small. When you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You tell them, I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of myself. This is what I accept, and this is what I don't. If someone truly respects you, they will honor your boundaries. If they don't, they will try to break them. And that is when you will know who deserves a place in your life and who needs to go. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing for protecting your energy. Stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself. Boundaries are not selfish, nor are they cold-hearted. They are the foundation of a strong, self-respecting, and empowered life. The sooner you set them and enforce them, the sooner you take back control of your destiny. Lesson 3. Walk with confidence. There is a way you carry yourself through life that speaks volumes before you ever open your mouth. Before a single word escapes your lips, the world has already judged you. By the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you hold your head high, or the way you move through a crowd. You don't need to be the wealthiest, the smartest, or the most successful person in the room. But if you walk with unwavering confidence, others will treat you as if you belong. That is the power of presence, the power of self-assurance, and the power of commanding respect without having to beg for it. Too many people shrink themselves the moment they step into an unfamiliar space. They lower their voices, avoid eye contact, hesitate before speaking. They make themselves small, hoping not to be noticed, hoping they don't take up too much space. But that kind of energy only leads to being overlooked, dismissed, and ignored. If you act like you don't belong, the world will believe you. If you enter a room with hesitation, as if apologizing for your own existence, no one will give you a second glance. But when you walk as if you own the space, everything changes. People take notice. They turn their heads. They feel your energy before you even speak. You don't need arrogance, nor do you need to be loud. You simply need to carry within you a quiet but unshakable confidence, a steadiness in your posture, a certainty in your steps that silently declares, I belong here. I have value. I am worthy. Confidence isn't about being the most important person in the room. It's about understanding that your presence matters. It's about recognizing that no one has an inherent right to stand above you, that no one is automatically more valuable simply because they have a bigger title, a more expensive suit, or more years of experience. The moment you start seeing others as towering figures you could never measure up to, you are placing yourself beneath them. And when you do, they will treat you accordingly. Look at those who are respected, admired, and heard. They are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented, but they know how to claim their space. They walk with purpose. They speak with certainty. They act as if they have every right to be where they are. And because of that, the world believes them. You must train yourself to enter any space with a presence that commands attention. And that begins with your posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, head high. Walk as if every step you take has purpose, as if you know exactly where you are going and why you are there. When you exude confidence from within, the world has no choice but to acknowledge it. Walk without stiffness, without forcefulness, but also without hesitation. Let each step reflect an inner strength, a steadiness that does not need to shout. When you move, walk with deliberate intent, not rushing, not faltering, but with a quiet certainty that makes those around you feel that you know exactly where you are headed. Your gaze should do the same. Don't look away. Look straight ahead, not to intimidate, but to make it clear that you are present, that you are fully aware of yourself and your surroundings. And when you speak, do so with clarity. Don't hesitate. Don't shrink your voice before others even have the chance to hear you. Too many people weaken their own words by prefacing them with phrases like, "I'm not sure if this makes sense, but," or "I could be wrong, but." This is how you invalidate yourself before your message even reaches the room. If you don't believe in your own words, how can anyone else? Own your space. Own your voice. Own your presence. Because the world will treat you exactly the way you present yourself. Lesson number 4. Eliminate hesitation from your voice. Don't apologize for speaking. Don't wait for others to give you permission to take up space. There will be rooms where you feel like you're the least experienced, the least accomplished, or even undeserving of being there. There will be places where you feel like an outsider, like you don't belong. But here's the truth. Everyone has felt that way at some point. Even the most powerful people in the world have moments of self-doubt. The difference is this: they don't let it show. They act as if they belong, and over time, that belief becomes reality. You can do the same. Train yourself to step into any space, whether big or small, whether stressful or intimidating, with the poise that suggests the place was made for you. Because, in truth, it was. The past, the challenges, the experiences, all of it has led you to this moment. The people who rise in life are not always the most talented or the smartest. They are the ones who refuse to let fear shrink them. They are the ones who dare to move forward, even when they want to step back. Confidence isn't about knowing everything or being the best in the room. It's about daring to show up as yourself, without excuses. It's carrying an energy so strong that no one can ignore you. When you walk into a room, you decide how others see you. If you enter with anxiety, shyness, and uncertainty, others will reflect those same emotions back to you. But if you enter with calm, with a confident air, with a grounded presence, you will earn respect even before you speak. The most successful people don't always get there through talent or luck. They understand one thing: the image you project outwardly can change your entire internal world. When you move through life with that confidence, doors will open. So, when you step into a room, don't be the one who shrinks. Be the one who stands tall. Be the one who dares to look others in the eye. Be the one who walks with purpose. Be the one who makes the world listen without begging for recognition. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you build. Whether it's in your job, your relationship, or the way you walk into a room, it all begins with self-worth. Just like Keanu Reeves, you don't need to speak loudly to be respected. Your actions do the talking. So here's my question for you. Which of these 4 lessons hit hardest? What change are you ready to make today? Drop it in the comments. And if this gave you value or motivation, like, share and subscribe, because this journey is just beginning. Part 2 is coming. Don't miss it.